I lived in a model's apartment in Midtown. I think it was on 42nd Street. And it was a huge apartment. At any given time, there could be 3 girls or there could be 20 girls. We were all about the same age, and we were in the city by ourselves, you know, some of us for the first time.
The modeling industry was a clear, easy target for Jeffrey Epstein. You had young, ambitious, beautiful women coming to New York from all over the world, dying to make it. They want to be the next big model more than anything they've ever wanted. And Jeffrey Epstein promised to make their dreams come true.
I was 19. I was in New York on my own, which was a scary place, but I knew that I could do it. They had me cut my hair really short, like Rosemary's Baby, and it looked horrible. After that, they let me go. I had no money. And so I started working at the coffee shop as a hostess. So the coffee shop was kind of a legendary establishment. They hired models and actresses. And that's when I met the recruiter. She was a young, beautiful blonde, and she was like, "Wow, you're really beautiful." And she said, "I actually wanted to talk to you about an opportunity." She told me about this man that she worked for. She called him her client. And he likes to receive massages, and he'll pay you several $100s for 30 minutes. She just kept making it seem like a really great opportunity and just kept sounding better and better. He has ties to the fashion industry. He's friends with a bunch of supermodels. I said, "Well, I don't have any massage experience." She said, "It doesn't matter. You know, he just likes young, pretty girls." I was broke, and it sounded like an opportunity where he could help me if he liked me. The appointment was around 11 or 12 in the afternoon. A maid answered the door. She could barely look me in the eye. She led me to an elevator where we went to the second floor. I had never seen anything like that before in my life. So I just went and sat down, and I was super nervous. Finally, he walks in with a towel wrapped around his body. I didn't know where I was. I wasn't really paying attention walking into the house. After the maid had shut the door, I felt trapped.
When Jeffrey Epstein entered the room, she knew she was trapped already. She was terrified already. The conversation that he started with her was to calm her down so he could get what he wanted.
He asked me what my name was. He asked me where I was from. I told him I was from Texas, and he was kind of tickled by it, but it seemed like business as usual for him. So he laid face down on the massage table, where I very awkwardly began to massage him. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, this guy's gonna hate this. He asked me to take my clothes off. I was trembling. I was so scared, and I took my clothes off. He began to touch me aggressively, and it quickly turned into an assault. I distinctly remember him smiling and enjoying the fact that he was doing this horrible thing to me that obviously terrified me and was violating me, but he was somehow getting off on that.
She knew that she had to either fight, run, or freeze. Those are the 3 human responses to that perceived sense of danger. And the damage of that trauma continues into their lives from that point forward.
I had never had a sexual experience before. I was 19, and that was my introduction to any intimate experience. He handed me the money, $200, and that was it. He left. The maid came back a couple minutes later, and she let me out. I couldn't figure out what had just happened. I was so confused. What just happened? I called my mom, just bawling in tears. I said, "You have to come get me now. You have to get me. I can't be here anymore." And I was home, but it didn't feel like home because I wasn't the same person anymore. It seemed a lot bigger back then. Maybe I've tried to diminish it in my mind over the years, but I can see myself standing there at 19 and waiting for the maid to answer the door and feeling pretty overwhelmed. I had never quite seen anything like the inside this mansion. My therapist says that certain memories come back if you go to the place where the trauma occurred. And I'm going back there, and I could still see his face. He seems like he's still behind those doors, and he's still alive. It's an odd sensation. And I still wonder why that maid didn't say anything. She could have helped a lot of people. She seemed not happy to see me. She didn't really greet me kindly. It was strange. I'm sure it's because she knew what was going to happen. And what I continue to live with is, that moment where she shut the door and that feeling of being trapped. And that's how I've continued to live my life, in a small, dimly lit room, trying to escape. But I can't. I still can't. It's crazy how people just walk by like it's any other building. No one notices. It's ironic that he had so many security cameras, as if he was going to be hurt or threatened by someone, when he was the monster. It was everyone else that needed to be protected. I can't imagine anyone living in this house. With all the things that happen here. It's very dark. It's a very dark place. You say, why did this happen to me? This place is cursed.